especially him, being in cahoots with them all and his connections with his mother. It's fascinating. Also, welcome Wild Olive. It's a little quiet right now. Hopefully people will show up here in a little while. But yeah, do you have any questions for us before we fully dive in?
Hey, yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm just taking everything in and just kind of I was red pilled about a year and a half, 2 years ago or so, by my my wife's sister at a family gathering, which is kind of wild because usually you don't bring up a bunch of stuff on a family gathering, but yeah, it's fun to learn, and I'm always soaking up new info. So I thank you guys for your channel, and yeah, I don't have any specific questions, but just want to soak it in.
I have one. Are you Canadian?
No, nope. USA.
USA. All right. What part of the USA?
North Central.
Okay. North Central. Minnesota?
Minnesota. Yep.
So you're basically the American Canada. Got it.
Yeah. You betcha. Yeah, sure. Oofta.
Hey, I love to see it. Love to see it. Welcome.
Thank you.
Of course. Actually, you know what? I actually do have a question for you, Mr. Olive there. What do you want to see from a Donald Trump arrest? Or what do you want to see throughout this entire political sphere?
Well, I would say I would love to see a precedent set that, hey, we can go after previous presidents and kind of get some justice for all the crazy stuff that's been going on for like centuries, years and years and years. I don't know if you guys have talked about that angle at all, or.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's a common discussion here all the time. I mean, how versed are you with the map maker and the New Templars as a whole?
I found you guys pretty close to after I was red pilled. Well, the full story, I'll just 10-second elevator speech. I saw some Clinton VHS tapes when I was younger. My grandmother, who is now passed, had a Clinton tape, and so I kind of had some, first opportunity to learn something. And then a number of years after that, I saw an Obama. Some guy was passing out CD-ROMs at an event that I was at, and he was just passing them out, and it would happen to be the Obama video. I don't know who made it, but so over time I've gotten red pilled, and now it's like hardcore. I think I know a lot for for the year and a half to 2 years or so, and with the New Templars and the map maker, and I've looked at a number of maps, and it's just mesmerizing. And I'll go ahead.
Have you picked up any of his maps?
Oh, I do not have any of his maps. I've seen some, but I don't have any.
I recommend getting at the very least the Q map or the Intel packet. It's worth the money.
Okay.
And it's nice to see it. You've seen it on your screen, but it's nice to see it in your hands, and it's a surreal feeling.
Cool.
The healing web too. That is essential. I have a whole tapestry.
Oh yeah. I have seen the healing web, and I saw another channel kind of promoting it and talking about it. It was Deep Dives, Denise Stevens, and I don't know if she met with the map maker, and like we're talking about it and whatever. I'm not sure if it was him or or some other people that they were talking. They were just going to go through it and just talk about all the things and say, you guys got to buy this map. Go get this map. And yeah.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So have you had any extraterrestrial experiences?
You know what? I not that I firsthand have witnessed, but maybe things that I thought I might have seen or have observed, but nothing concrete that I know of. But I'm definitely open to it. I would say this, that my consideration set of just things in the world has greatly increased. So this last couple years, like, I've learned so many things, and I know that I have to kind of grain of salt, some things here and there, and I don't necessarily just believe everything, but I have to use my discernment and figure out, what's true, what's not true, what things could maybe be true, but I don't know enough about yet, and yeah. But I'm definitely open to knowing, and yeah.
One rabbit hole I have to recommend to anybody who's first really starting out. Go down the Tartaria rabbit hole. That's fun.
I have definitely been down the Tartaria rabbit hole, and I watched a number of those videos where they show some of the gizmos and gadgets they've made, and I've seen some of like longer documentaries and stuff that have been just mind-blowing, and I'm like, what? Why is this not here? I'm so mad. I want an aerial antenna on my house, or something like that.
Or more like a docking port.
Yeah, for the Zeppelin,
Welcome the speaker. Welcome, Cody. Xenox, you wanted to say something?
I was just gonna commend you all of you. Sound like a really down to earth person, and you I can tell you have this level of intelligence and discernment already just by the way you're speaking, and your mind seems really calm, and I think a lot of people who have their awakening or red pilling or whatever you want to call it can go through a lot emotionally and mentally, and so it can be chaotic most of the time, actually. So good job, man. You're doing great, and the fact that you're starting out and you're open to things more than just the political sphere, you're already leagues ahead of most people. So keep it up, man.
I I have seen that that graphic. It might be a meme, where it says the phases of red pilling. I can honestly say that I've been through many of those phases. The first one is shock. The first one's anger. Another one is like your whole world has crumbled, and all the things. I've been through all of those really quickly, and my brain's still here. I'm still here, and thank you for the encouragement. I do appreciate it.
Oh yeah. And I got one more question to ask, because I know I've been picking on you, but you seem like very welcoming, and I love your energy. So I got to ask: Has COVID hurt you, or have you taken the vaccine, or has it taken any of your family members? Like, what damage has it caused for you?
Yeah. So my family and I have not, and I have talked to my sister, whose husband has, because he was pressured at work. He worked in healthcare, not a doctor or anything, but he worked on the business side and helped with the training programs and implementation, that kind of thing. And so he was pressured into taking it. And his son, they were going on a skiing trip to Colorado, I believe. And his son got the vax so he could eat inside the cafeteria at a ski resort. And I'm like, no, why? And I was at their house. We live in different cities now, but I was at their house. And so my brother-in-law said, hey, can you just try something for me? Can you put a magnet off the fridge, put it on your arm, and see if it sticks? And he put it up to his arm, and it stuck. And I'm like, and it's really, really tricky, because you don't want to say something to make them feel bad, but you want them to know the truth. So it's like this.
Now,
how do you do it?
Now you let his brain go. Wait, what? Wait, what?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, your brain, if you're really, really thinking about that, you're going, oh my God, my electrons are actually interacting with something that's in my body to create an electrical charge or to magnetize, to create an electronic charge for this magnet to attract to me. That's a problem. That's not supposed to happen. That's not how skin works. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And so I don't know if it was that same day I recommended my sister download Telegram, because there's a lot of access to a number of channels and places to connect with people and learn, and she downloaded Telegram, and I connected to her a couple of places. And then just this last, month or so, she deleted Telegram. And I brought it up in a conversation, and she's like, well, how do you know? Well, it tells you well, maybe it doesn't tell you, but I noticed that she wasn't there.
I'm going to tell you right now, I despise Telegram. It's too overwhelming. There's too much.
It is. And you know what I do? I go into the settings. I really limit the amount of data that Telegram can save on my phone. And I don't download pictures automatically or videos automatically. If I want to see anything, I have to click it.
See, what Telegram needs is a feed. It just needs a place to where you can scroll through all of the posts that you're following.
Instead of having to click in.
Just like Instagram, just like Facebook, just so people can actually scroll and get proper information and proper news. This constantly clicking and going through different channels and then scrolling, it's too much. It's too overwhelming. You got to keep up, and if you're focused on one channel, you're going to get a whole bunch of notifications for this one, and you have to mute this one. It's just too much.
Yeah, I turn off all my notifications too.
I got bad news for you, Scuba. It's Russian made, so they're quite lazy when it comes to programming.
I know.
To answer your question there, Olive, when it comes to, someone like your nephew or whatever, your sister. Well, no, the one that had the magnet.
Oh, that was her husband, actually.
Yeah, her husband. When it comes to making someone realize like the consequences or the implications of doing something like getting a shot that is not good for you or whatever. They have to understand the sovereignty of their own body and the amount of trust and distrust there is in the government, and how much it's like you're not just gonna let the government manipulate your DNA. Like it's a level of understanding that I guess that they have to have from a wider perspective and not just about vaccines. Chances are if someone eats terrible food all the time and they don't take care of their body, they're not going to care about the vaccine. Or if they're just always listening to authoritative sources, and not independently in their own mindset, they're not thinking on their own, then they're just going to do what they're told. And so really it's like this almost intellectual but also spiritual, because you have very intellectual people who get the shot anyway and they disagree with it, but it's like this awareness thing where you can really see a separation of people. Not to say that there's like a bifurcation or anything in like a physical sense, but in a kind of a mental like awareness, there's this, I guess, growing difference that you can see in the way people behave. But the good and bad thing about COVID, I will say this. The good news is I've heard from sources, different places online, that 75% of the COVID shots were saline.
Oh, right. I've heard that.
So, yeah. So good news is chances are your family members who got the shot have a pretty good chance of just having no effect if they've only gotten one or two. But after that, chances are a lot less.
Higher.
But yeah, where was I going?
I wouldn't say 75.
For the first 1 or 2, I'd say yes, because they had to make sure that people, because at
too
first
fast,
when it first got rolled out,
quickly.
If people started dying too quickly, it would not have been good for the narrative.
He got it in March, kind of after COVID started.
I say this, the ones that have gotten the shot earlier when it first came out are probably more safe than the ones that got it like in the latter period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's just my opinion.
It's an opinion.
Yeah.
I asked her if she wanted to detox. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Welcome, Britt. Just making sure I give my welcomes. What's the time here? All right, we're 15 minutes in. Gonna cut you off there, Mr. Wild. I'm gonna get us started here, get us rolling, and then I got some questions for the entirety of the audience. All right, Junk, take it away.
The sun is sunning. What you guys wanted to hear? I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. We've had lots of spikes. From my perspective in hiatus, we hit around 50 something the other day. So lots of large strikes, lots of solar flares, and just as you can see right here, a giant sunspot that is probably the size of 10 Earths, 12 Earths, something like that.
Maybe much bigger than that, bud.
Yeah,
that is massive.
But it's fascinating. I mean, something's coming soon because that's all condensed, and that plasma's got to go soon. So,
and where is it going to be aimed at? So yeah, that's what we got the view of right now. So one thing I did want to. Oh crap! What did I do? Okay, one thing I did want to show. Crap. Don't give me 3-day, give me 7-day. So if you guys notice, where the hell is it? So basically yesterday, it did what it did last week, which basically completely dipped down. Now, Junk, do you want to pull up the Schumann for me, please? And see yesterday on the Schumann?
Yeah, doing it right now. Hold on.
Because usually when it dips down that high or that far, something in the Schumann happens. Because that means that flip.
28.
28. Okay, so not spectacular, because that's usually what this indicates is that a solar flare happens complete opposite of the planet. But as you can see, we're very much going to be dealing with geomagnetic storms. So fun times. And I'm going to give us a nice big view of this here in a minute, but this is where the direction of the latest this week's flare went. Earth is that dot there, so it basically pounded Venus, not in the middle, kind of got it on the side there, but definitely kind of branched out, got more powerful, and got into its own spiral vortex to one of our satellites, actually. I thought that was going to be no, sorry, that's Mars. Yeah. So that's Mars there. And it just kind of gives you perspective on what, these flares look like and how powerful and how they can spread. Words are hard.
This is our cosmic nursery, and Sol is giving each planet the quote unquote milk it needs to grow up and be strong.
Oh God. I was gonna say the kiss of life, but that works. So let's go here. Like I said, I'm gonna show you guys that big flare and a nice big view. Look at that sucker. Boom. Now, Mr. Wild, since you're kind of the new one of the group so far and you've been most chatty, what is being kind of relatively new to all this? How do you feel like sitting down here looking at the sun? Because I'm sure you've never really sat down and looked at these radars, have you?
No. I've seen the Schumann resonance. Come across that on Telegram. Some groups post that, and you see when it lights up and lots of colors come through, or turns to white or light to yellow or whatever. I'm still learning, as much as I can, and I've heard people, because I'm watching a lot of different talks, and people are just talking and interviewing others and whatnot, and people say, oh well, hey, if you have this symptom, you're kind of feeling things happen or whatever, you have ringing in the ears or whatever, or you have an epiphany, and you have I don't know, it's like a new thought, or you solved a problem or made a connection between two pieces of data that was just really cool. I've had all of those, and I don't know if I've had them years ago, maybe as often or as much, but I do see some of that, and I don't know if it's placebo. If people say, hey, you're going to feel this, and then you do, I don't know. So I'm learning a lot, but is there anything specific that I should be noticing about this?
Well, it's just more or less something to pay attention to, because one thing that we do here very specifically in the mystery school, Dylan's kind of getting more into it, but we really push hard for it, is to have this symbiotic relationship with the sun, because at the end of the day, it is your giver of life. It is the reason why we're all here, and it is our gateway to ascension.
Hey, Scuba, can I condense Schumann into a nutshell? All right, Mr. Wild. Basically, it's so the Schumann's basically data picked up by the SDO satellite, and the sun's energy hits the Earth's ionosphere, which causes shifts in the planet's base frequency at 7.83 hertz. And our bodies, since they're directly related to the planet, we feel on a physical level these chart spikes, and it actively it connects with our consciousness as well, because a lot of these frequencies are brainwave frequencies. And it's in these moments, especially when you have the clarity of, say, an awakening or greater self-awareness, that's when you start to notice different things about you. Because I'm sure now, looking back in the rear view, you can kind of sense how some things went under your peripherals, like how you're almost on autopilot throughout your life, and some are just accepted as they are told to you. But the more you kind of push into that aspect of wanting to know more about the world, wanting to know more about your purpose and your place in this universe, that's when you start to really seek out these kind of macrocosmic connections. And so when Scuba talks about developing this kind of synergy with our home star, it's basically allowing these symptoms to correlate to the chart. So some people call them ascension symptoms, etc. And basically what it is it's the process of your body acclimating to higher frequencies. And because the sun is constantly raising its vibration, so too does everything else in its solar system. And so this is also kind of a tuning process of your body. And if you're kind of out of sync with your own vibration or internal frequency, then that's when you're going to start to feel these like shifts, and you might feel sluggish or whatnot. But truthfully, like when we have these spikes, beyond just feeling elevated and alive, some people feel knocked out. Some people need to reset, go to sleep. and recalibrate. So it's a nice little reference. I've been tracking it a lot. You can check my page on it, but basically the higher the frequency, the more we kind of level up in essence. It takes place on a planetary level. So throughout the collective consciousness, everybody's kind of jumping at that spike.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Alrighty, so our master sun watcher here was able to get us a couple other anomalies. So what you're seeing here, as we've discussed previously, but for anybody that's new watching the recording and to the chat, what you're seeing here is basically a different lens of the same satellite that we just were looking at monitoring the sun. But what Junk has done has combed through each and every single frame and has found anomalies. And he has been doing this for a long time. Now, one of the beautiful things of what him and I both do is I mainly kind of focus on everything from a broader perspective, where he mainly focuses on frame by frame because of how much attention to detail it requires. And he has just been able to find the most wild things. So talk about this bad boy.
So what you're looking at is the LASCO satellites, C2 and C3. C3 being the one that you're looking at now, C2 being the red tint one, which is an infrared. And Scuba, I sent you a link to the actual thing if you want to see how fast the slides are in real time. Basically, this is a 24-hour video or capture of the sun, and they go frame by frame. So they snap a photo every 12 minutes or so. And sometimes, because nobody has the patience or curiosity, as we do here at the Templars, to go through each and every of the slide, I find these anomalies, aka UFOs. And it's absolutely empowering, and it feels amazing that you can kind of find these gigantic craft floating through our solar system, let alone near our planet. And what you're going to be seeing as soon as Scuba goes back to the other picture is a giant cylindrical UFO. These are one of the most common UFOs we see out in our solar system. Again, if you were just talking to NASA on the face front, they would tell you that Oumuamua, which was that one quote-unquote rocky asteroid or comet, whatever it was, that floated through our inner solar system, was an anomaly or rarity. That's a complete lie and bogus, because we found countless of these. I mean, Scuba, I think we've accumulated at least 80 plus of these captures, and sometimes they come in sort of like hordes, there's at least 20 plus of them, and they're all moving in the same direction, which is very, very fascinating, because if it was random space junk, you would see it moving all over the place, but these are factions. These are units that are moving in tandem. And then, let alone when you find these other ones, you can kind of see different details around the edges. Like we had this one capture, which is probably one of my favorites. And I'm not sure, Scuba, if you have that at your fingertips just yet, but
I do not.
It is beautiful. You could see the edges of the cylinder, the ridges, everything was there, and it was brightly illuminated because when the camera captures these objects, it's reflecting sunlight. So the brighter it is, the more massive it is, because it has to be giant to be picked up by the satellite itself. So going back to the other picture, when you pull that up, Scuba, we're looking at maybe several miles long of an object, a craft, as we like to propose, because these things aren't random. Believe me, I've been looking at slide by slide. All of these little dots in the background mostly are stars. Some of them are static. Some of the other ones are space junk. Some of them are little rocky formations here and there. So when you have something that's perfectly cylindrical or perfectly spherical, that's when something, it comes into play. You have to start to extend your understanding of what's actually out there and what's being prevented from public disclosure.
Because what you have to understand is the way that it's looking at the sun right now is it essentially has a blocker in front of it. So it's reading all of the energy around the sun. It's not reading directly at the sun. And the fact that this is lighting up means that it's giving a thermal reading.
Yeah, sorry, I failed to mention that. The center of the image that you're looking at, that dark circle, that is a camera blinder to prevent the sensor from burning out. That white circle is the actual size of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're seeing.
So yeah, it's pretty wild. And we have another anomaly here. Look at that.
So, okay, and full disclosure, this could be one of two things. One, as we love to speculate, a little UFO gathering, a little meetup in the middle of space.
Secret space program, who knows? But some sort of meetup.
Or it could be the Pleiades. I can't tell. I counted 7. I don't know.
Oh wow, yeah, and 1, 2,
but
3,
it's
4,
still
5.
nonetheless.
That wow, yeah, you not wrong there. Not, and definitely looks like the formation too. But wouldn't they be much farther apart than that?
Because they weren't together. Like frame by frame, it happened in one frame. So this is definitely a meetup.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like the Pleiades. Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
I'm leaning more towards a meetup or a one ship breaking off, like I usually like to say with sending out scout ships. So we got one more photo, and then I gotta ask the audience a question or two. What are we looking at here, Junk?
That is Venus in ultraviolet.
Oh, I thought it was Neptune. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's like you don't really see too often. So we got to give Venus appreciation. Again, with our last conversation, we talked about the volcanic activity in one of the craters that just recently arose. So it's quite active, and we feel like it's terraforming. We feel like it's healing, to say the least, bringing itself back to that beautiful oasis that it probably was in the past.
So that's all right. So I got a few questions to ask. I don't expect to get any answers, but I got to ask it anyways because we're kind of at that point now. We want to take some feedback from the audience. What kind of questions moving forward would you like to see? Like, I know we've been kind of given an interesting mixed bag, and some have been good, some have been kind of meh. I know that I'm not aware to that, but I'm still making sure that we keep to our weekly goal. But is there any topics that you guys really want us to dive into, talk about? It's not like we're not losing steam or anything, but we want to take some feedback.
We want to hear what you guys have to say.
We've not really talked about the white dragons and the red dragons that much.
So the Chinese
and how
secret societies.
and how that fits into the movie.
That one I don't know much about, so that'll be new for me, honestly, because I say that as superstition, because from what I've heard of them, it's like this elusive old Chinese society that now has so much gold, it's ridiculous that they're just going to drop on the world economy and it's going to help stimulate it, and it's just like, I don't fully believe that, but I'd definitely go into it. We can definitely talk about it because I'm sure it definitely existed, and all of the other societies in the Chinese area. Any other ones? Because that's a really good one. No, guess not. Okay, well. Are there any final thoughts there, Junk and Xenox?
Yeah, are we talking about flat Venus now or what?
Oh my god. What is up with you in the flat, like, celestial bodies? You just are your meme. You know what? Your DNA strand should just, like, on April Fool's Day, just should sit sideways and be flat.
I know it's gonna slowly rotate to the side.
Yeah.
And just into a line.
Oh Lord. Like that old Windows screensaver that had like the 3D text.
You know, I'm just saying it now. If we didn't have that break off, fork in the road, our gathering, our community would have so much more stamina.
I say it needs to be there. Personally, I say it needs to be there.
Another topic we could talk about is the holidays that we celebrate that are supposed to be happy holidays, when in fact a good part of them are satanic holidays.
Yeah, we've gone into a little bit of that during the holidays. I don't know if we really recorded at that point, but yeah, we can talk about them again. I know we're gonna redo a lot of the Halloween stuff that we did last year now that we're fully recording.
And when Jesus was more likely born as opposed to December 25th.
Yeah, that one I've always been interested at.
Another idea came up to me as you guys were talking about holidays and whatever. I would be interested. Maybe you've covered this in the past. I don't know, but just the calendar in general. You know, like 365 days, and then 12 months,
Mayan
13
calendar.
months, and yeah, just kind of going through it and like, how does it affect us as people? And you know, women's cycles, men's cycles. You know, all the things.
Yeah, we can go into that.
And the different calendars.
Some really good ideas, guys. Holy crap. Look at that. 5 good ideas. No, 4. I can count. That's 4 good ideas.
Hey, Scuba.
Yes, sir.
Since something might happen before we meet next, what's the consensus on the arrest of DJT?
Yeah. I think it'll happen at a later date. I think it has to happen. Personally. That's just me.
I think they might be rethinking this.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
Yeah, because we're like, you arrest him, he's almost guaranteed re-election. So it's like a dumb card to pull right now.
It's an extremely dumb card to pull. Doesn't mean they wouldn't do it.
No, but if they, if it's about Stormy Daniels, then this Tara Reid comes out about Biden. That's in the same category. So what does that do to a sitting president?
That's a good point.
Well, also, if he does get arrested, and when all the shit that's going to go down, then he's not responsible for it because he's arrested.
Not wrong there either. It'll just be very interesting to see him actually get cuffed, put in a jumpsuit, fingerprinted, and then sits in a cell.
Wait, but what about bail?
Whoa, too many people. Love Warrior, you first.
If we do see that, it will be a fake Trump. I believe.
Really? You think it'll be a fake Trump? Okay.
I don't think I think the real Trump is hidden. I don't think anybody can get next to him right now.
Okay. Chunk, what were you going to say?
The guy has enough money to build hotels in every continent. I think he's going to have enough to get out of bail. Like, how long is this really going to last? Is it just for the photo op, or?
They don't want him to run by any means necessary. And they'll extend their powers as long and as strong as they can.
That's not going to happen. I mean, it might be a show, but I mean,
Oh, yeah, no.
The White Hats have got this so down pat, I think.
We can only hope.
Right. But, I mean, I believe it's a show right now to wake people up.
Yep. Because you gotta be asleep to believe this is reality.
If they do arrest him and he's calling for protest, then where will that take us?
That's a good point. Now he's really calling for protest. It's not necessarily inciting violence, but he's calling for protest. Fascinating. Oh, I'm getting messages. Oh, wow. That's a nice Pepe clown there. I'm going to forward that to the group chat so they can all see that if they want. Alrighty, guys. I don't have anything more to say. Xenox, do you have anything more to say, bud?
Yeah, no.
Alrighty. Junk, are you good, or do you still have some things you want to say?
I just want to reach out to everybody that's here with us and watching the recording. Thank you for being supportive of the Mystery School. Scuba puts his heart and love and soul into this. And we're here to support it. We're here to keep expanding, developing. We have a whole evolution of Mystery School as we move forward. So your feedback is essential, and your being here is essential. So thank you. And I know it's really nice to have a space to converge every week, to decompress, to talk about what's going on. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to commune and just hold space for everybody. So thank you from my end and from everybody here at Mystery School.
Absolutely. Well said. So, as always, we will see you next week, and keep on seeking.
Happy birthday in 5 days.
Thank you.